welcome back there, yogis. Today we're going to do a 10 or ish minute set of seated poses. I do want to point out, if you have any restrictions placed upon you from a surgeon, a care provider, a pain specialist, an occupational therapist, a physical therapist, or anyone else, please follow the restrictions that were placed upon you. That being said, you have arrived. So, really quickly, I have a lot of playful things around me, a lot of what they're called in yoga as props. We have a strap. You don't need to go out and get a yoga strap specifically. You can use a necktie, a bathrobe tie, a shawl, just something you can kind of have with length that you might be able to use to strap around various places of your body. We may or may not use that today. I also have a block, yoga blocks. You may or may not have yoga blocks. You don't necessarily need to go out and purchase yoga blocks. Just having something that is somewhat similar in shape and form, whether it be stacking textbooks, stacking board games, puzzles, jigsaw puzzle boxes. Even I've been told that the height of a toilet paper roll and then placing two rolls side by side. Just if you don't have yoga blocks, becoming creative and crafty and making something for yourself. And then I also have here a blanket. So if you can't even get some blocks together, if you have any old blanket lying around the house, getting it to kind of be the width of your hips here, your body, and then folding it up, as yogis call it, in accordion style, so that there is that flatness of the blanket, which could be used instead of a block or in addition to a block. Right off the bat, in seated posture, front cross-legged posture here, I am going to choose to use a support in the form of a block, because as many of us sit down, if our hips are not externally rotated, if they're not open yet in the day, you will find yourself sitting like this, where the hips are beneath the knees, and you can see your kneecaps raised up here in height. There's nothing wrong with this. This is actually how many people who sit down in a cross-legged posture would find themselves. Again, we're at a desk all day. We are closed. We're not open yet. And so it may be difficult for us to get our knees down. So that's why it's important to have props handy to assist you. So I am now seated on the yoga block. And what has happened is my hips are now above my knees. My knees are open, my knees are able to rest easily and comfortably on the floor, and my hips are higher than my knees, which is what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and begin. The other thing I want to point out is my limitation is currently on my left side, my left elbow, unable to straighten my left arm. And we never want a body part, whether it's a leg or an arm, dangling in midair, unless the posture calls for it. But most postures, we want to be grounded. We want to be feeling the floor beneath our body. So in that case, I easily place this yoga block to support my arms. So you may find that more comfortable as we're in the seated posture and our hands are on our thighs. If your hand's not able to easily get to your thigh, check it out, yoga block, okay? So we're going to start with the cat-cow today, a seated cat-cow. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what's happening with my spine as we inhale and exhale. Do a couple this way and then I'll turn back to center. So when we inhale, we're going to lift our chest, gaze going up towards the sky. There's a slight back bend. And as we exhale, belly button towards spine, chin to chest, the back comes rounded. Inhale, lifting at the chest, gaze floats up, shoulder blades glide down. Exhale, belly button towards spine, rounding the back, chin comes to chest. Inhale, cat pose. And exhale, cow. Going ahead at your own pace. when you're in the cow, coming on back up to neutral. Great job, yogis. This next pose, we're going to be going, so that was the curvature of the spine this way. Now we're going to be making a C curve, and so I am going to remove my block. I don't want to fall off my block. So I'm actually going to sit on my blanket as it has a little bit more width to it. Knowing that we are going to be C curving, which means bending to the right and to the left, and knowing that I cannot place my left hand to the floor, and as I shared before, we never want it to be floating out there in space, so I am placing a block here ready for that. And it might feel nice to have one on the other side. You just never know. So I'm going to put one on the other side and see as well. So lift and lengthen. Inhale in this neutral posture. And exhale, getting ready for the pose. Inhale, the right arm comes up, leaning to the left side, looking up at the right arm. Exhaling over to the side. Inhale, you're switching sides, your arms are floating. You're leaning to your right as the left comes up, exhaling towards the right. Inhale to switch sides. Exhale, lean to the left, gaze goes up to the lifted arm. Inhale, switching arms. Exhale, leaning to the right, gaze is up to the left. Inhale, switching arms. Exhale, bending towards that left side, lifting the chest. Inhale, switching sides. Exhale, bending towards the right. Your chest is lifted, your gaze is up to the left arm. 2 more times on your own pace. And when you've completed your full cycle, coming on back to neutral. Great job, yogis. Let's go ahead and bring the shoulders up towards the ears, sliding them down the back. Inhale, shoulders coming up. Exhaling, sliding back. Inhale, the shoulders come up to the ears. Exhale, sliding down the back. Reversing opposite directions. Great job, yogis. All right, next thing we're going to do is something called staff pose. And for this pose, we can remove our prop from our seat, sitting directly on the floor. I am going to bring the block to my limited side of my body. So if your injury is on your right side, the block to your right, if it's on your left, and so forth. Staff pose. Getting seated firmly on those sits bones. So you might feel yourself rocking back and forth on your sits bones. The reason I have my block here is our hands are coming in next to our hips and pressing into the ground. So if I was able to, this hand would press to the ground. So your hand is pressing into the ground. If you're not able to get the hand to the ground, pressing into a block. The toes are flexed towards the ceiling. The head is lifted. The chin is tucked. Staff pose is just about engaging all of the muscles as you sit here in this upright, legs extended posture. Remember to breathe. If your body begins to shake, that's normal. Just keep breathing into the posture. Send the breath to where you feel the pose. Excellent job there, yogis. All right, you can release that one. We're going to do one more pose on either side of the body. Half dragonfly. So you're having let's start with the right leg extended outwards. As straight as you like. You might want to use a prop and place it under that right knee. that might help take some tension off the back side of the leg, up to you. Similarly, you might find if your knee is uncomfortable sitting here, you might put a block under the left knee, but your left leg is bent inwards. The left foot is coming close or as near to the right inner thigh as possible. This is a place you might consider using a strap if you wanted a strap around the outside of the foot. That's up to you. The straightened leg foot, toes are flexed, pointed up towards the ceiling. I'm going to bring my block actually out in front of me because what we're going to do is be forward folding. So lifting up through the spine, getting long and tall as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you're hinging forward at those hips. So you're not going all the way to the ground yet. Inhale, lifting through the spine. Chest lifts, sternum lifts. You smile at your clavicle. And then you exhale, tilting ever so slightly forward at the hips. Inhale one final time before we move into the forward fold. And then exhale, allowing that back to round. And I'm going to place my forehead to the block so that it's not just hanging out there because I'm not able to get my head to the ground. Go ahead and take a few deep breaths in and out of the nose in this posture. Breathe into the back of the body. Breathe into the extended leg. Breathe and sense wherever you're feeling this posture in your body, send your breath there. On your next inhale, slowly rolling yourself up. Great job, yogis. We're going to switch to the other side for our final posture. Left leg is extended straight. Again, if you choose placing that block under your left knee, it might be helpful. Similarly, you may want to block under the right knee bent. Here you go. Okay, this is the easeful way to do this pose. Being that I didn't use blocks before, I want to keep the size the same, but we're going to go ahead and lift through the spine. And as you exhale, tilting at the hips, just hinging forward. Chest lifts, sternum lifts. Inhale, lifting through the spine, getting long and tall. Exhale, tilting just ever so slightly forward. And then our final breath in, lifting, and exhale, grounding down. Putting the forehead to a block, to stacked fists, to whatever you may find the forehead is able to reach. Breathing into the sensations. Wherever you feel this posture, send your breath there. Left toes are pointed up to the ceiling. Left leg is engaged. Breathe into the back of the left leg. Breathe into the back of your body. And go ahead and slowly roll back up. Great job, yogis. All right, let's finish strong together. Inhale, arms outwards and up towards the sky, gaze lifts. Exhale, palms come together, heart center. Inhale, sweeping those arms outwards and up towards the sky. Exhale, palms come together at center. Final time together. Inhale, arms out wide and up towards the sky in gratitude, palms coming together at the heart center. Thank you for joining me today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.